All right, Noah. You're the fastest man in the world. Have you processed that yet?
I sure have, because it feels so good.
It feels like you already knew you were the fastest man in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Now you've just proven it to other people.
Oh, yeah. Essentially, pretty much. I mean, back in Boston, I ain't gonna lie. Again, I learned that I'm the guy that everybody feels that if you get beat by this person, you're slow. And I figured out I'm the guy for that in the 100. And it gives you a lot of power, I'm not gonna lie. So when you start winning and everybody's like, I'm not slow. It's like, cool, I'm not slow either.
We love getting nerdy and technical with you.
Yeah.
For race execution on both of those, what would you grade them? What stood out to you really that led to 2 goals?
The 100, I'd say, would probably be an A minus. There was just probably the last few meters that I could have just been less trying to win the race and more just trying to keep my form. I feel I did an excellent job of trusting the plan, getting out, accelerating, and getting into that 60 meters knowing that I was, if not in the lead, right in the mix, and then taking it over from 80 on. But I feel like from 60 to 100, I feel I could have been more open in the stride and really gave it those last few powerful strikes into the ground. So that's why I'm going to give it like an A minus, because I still feel I could have ran faster. And even my coach was like, yeah, I wanted the 9.7. I was like, yeah, I really felt I was going to run 9.7.
What were you yelling in the semifinal right after the finish line?
Run it back.
Did you know right then and there, like, oh, the final's mine?
Oh yeah. I knew once I passed Owen Wall in the first round. Like y'all gotta remember, this guy was over in Africa, just over here claiming he was gonna be the world champion, in his own home. It's nice to do things in your own home of Africa, but you gotta bring that back to the rest of the world. I wanna see you on the Diamond League, the circuit. I want to see you in America. I want to see you at World Championships. Show me what it takes when you ain't got your crowd hooting and hollering and people are actually doubting you. You're like, let me see that person.
So when you're talking about the 100, you said the end part of the race wasn't 100% what you wanted, but you traded. Is it a trade to get that start right? Like, can you have the best?
No, I definitely felt that I still was able to do both things. I still did Noah Lyles stuff at the end of the race. But I was still able to do, accelerate better, even have a better first 10 meters. Like a lot of the numbers that I wanted to see this year that I wasn't seeing in the 60 back in, the winter months finally came through. It was like an exciting moment of like, finally. I just wish I didn't have to be in peak condition to actually see that. Like I wanted to be able to see that throughout the years.
And then obviously last night, the 200. Also, with all the camera crews following and all that stuff, we got plenty of dramatics for that race with the semifinal, the crash, and everything.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I thought for a second that someone has a hit out on you, and then it was all playing.
Yeah, the devil got a hit out for me.
So ultimately, you put out the big numbers beforehand. We didn't see, what you wrote out that you were trying to manifest. So race execution wise, where did things kind of not go according to plan?
In the 100, again, I just feel it was just a matter of, I had the top end speed. I was definitely trying to win the race. I feel I held my composure extremely well, but of course I could have put more energy into the track. I could have let my stride been a little more open and just gotten the maximum velocity of what I was doing. But at the same time, I put those times out there for myself. It's again a shoot for the stars. So if you fall, you land on the clouds situation. Even if I don't get 9.6, I still got 9.83, a new personal best, matched the fastest time in the world. That's a great achievement. And with the 200 as well, I knew from the first 2 steps it wasn't going to hit. I remember last year at World Championships, the first 2 steps I knew the race was over. With this one, it was like, I should already have caught Kenny. It's all right. I'm going to come off the turning first. I'm going to win this race. I already know it. I have everything I need. I'm ready for if anybody tries to catch me in the last 5 meters, going back to London, I'm ready for each part of it. But at the end of the day, when we look back at this World Championships, nobody's going to really remember the time. They're going to remember the medals. When I look back at my World Championships in 2019, nobody talks about that time. When we went into 2022, all people would talk about was I was the defending champion. Nobody said he's the defending champion that ran 19, I think I ran 86 or 88 there. It was just the defending champion. And as we continue to keep going, it's going to be defending champion.
What's the harder part of doing the double? And you're about to have a 7th race of the week. Is it the fact that you have so many races in a short period of time? Or is it having the skill set to be good at the 100 and the 200?
I'd say it's a lot closer to the skill set. It was so weird trying to train for both of them. And again, I don't think it could have happened any other year because I had to have such a dominance over one event. And that was, for me, the 200. So now I put more emphasis on the 100, of course, running more 60, of course, running more 100 meters this year. I think before the World Champs, I had run 4, 5 200s all year. I had run way more hundreds throughout the year. And that was very weird for me because, that's not usually where I stay, but it's what needed to be done. So trying to find the duality between the two was a lot harder.
I mean, for you, we saw you race, you just mentioned it, just like from indoors. Is it just for you early on thinking with Coach Brahman, like, this is the plan for next year? Like, it's a good thing that the biggest star in the sport races a lot. The fans want to see it. For you, are you meticulously already starting to think of what that blueprint looks like to get to Paris?
I mean, this year was the blueprint. This was everything that we wanted to achieve. And the exciting thing is that we accomplished it. There wasn't that, well, we'll do better at it next time. It's like, no, we did it. What can we add or what can we, get better at? I mean, double world champ, man. Like, I'm literally we were coming over to the hospitality yesterday and I just couldn't get that out of my mind. Like, again, the last Bolt, the last person to do it, Bolt. Like, you would thought that somebody would have done it by now, but no, it hadn't. And it's so hard to do. And 5 men in the world ever have done it in World Championship history. It blows my mind that the number is that low. And when you look at the list, it's like people who have either world records or they have American records or whatever their national records are. Like, those are the only people who have done it. And it's like, well, shoot, I feel like I was the only one who really could do it.
As you've gained more fans, you've also gained more haters.
Oh, of course. Comes with the territory.
Right? And so I guess, how's that ratio right now after this week? But then also, what are they saying now? What's going to be the thing that you're hearing that's the new chip on your shoulder?
I'd say that I shut up a lot of the haters for now with that 100. So I haven't heard them in a while. They might come back next year. They probably will be back. They're always going to be back. But like Kanye says, screams for the haters got a nice ring to it. I mean, you can't have haters unless you're doing something right. They got to be mad at you for something. You're winning too much. That's what you're mad at? I'm winning too much? Oh, okay. But what was the second part of the question? I had an answer. I just can't remember.
The ratio, and I guess what are they saying?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't heard from them in a while. But I will say that after gaining the support of Jamaica shuts a lot of them haters up for me. And it's really fun to see.
So I know you've listened to our show a bit this week because
you
came in here, telling us. And something that we've had as a theme is like, what would Vince McMahon do? Meaning, like, what would be the most interesting storyline from a fan's perspective, from the outside looking in? What is the most interesting storyline that could happen between now and Paris from a fan's perspective?
I think it has to be Fred coming out for revenge. Like,
you told us he's out of blood.
Oh, definitely. And I would expect nothing less for him, to be honest. Like, if that was me, I would be saying the exact same thing. A fire igniting under the belly. I mean, it happened to Arion too. If we look at Arion's career, he went from running really fast in the early parts of the season to kind of, seeing his peak kind of fall off as he got to the later part. This time he was like, no, I'm not having that happen. He was very even on his build-up and making sure that he was going to be ready for this World Championships. And I think, as Fred looks at this, he tried the double, and that's, again, it's hard to do the duality of mixing the two. So whatever he's learned, he's probably going to take into the next World Champs with a huge fire and saying, I'm going to, make sure that they know that I'm the one, especially with him having that silver. So definitely, again, having that burning desire. But at the same time, I get off on knowing people are coming. Like, that only gets me more excited. And now that I'm really starting to figure out this start and acceleration, woo, let's get back to practice, man. I don't even want to go on break no more.
All right, so no, I got the sign. You have very limited time to slow down the world's fastest man so we've got another 3-hour podcast. You promised me.
Oh, definitely.
What do you think of the ending to part 2 now? Like, the filming is going to be done soon. Do you think the fans are going to be happy with this?
Oh gosh, the perfect exclamation point. I mean, literally, we touched on almost everything that we did in the first part here in the World Championships. We touched on handling the 200. We touched on handling the 100. Building throughout the rounds, drama. We got the excitement of the family and the team coming together, seeing it all happen at once, culminating at one point, getting the double, now about to go after the triple, having the hats, having, the media, pushing the sport forward, Netflix now coming out and being like, oh, wow, this is what Noah did. And, now Netflix is going to do their thing and everybody is, gaining on this train. It's like, wow, I want to see what happened. And then we have the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Didn't get the world record.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the team that you have behind you, Adidas, Omega, the staff that you have on hand. Is there any shortage of people to celebrate with?
No. But the funniest thing is, all I need is my family, to be honest. Then that's a topic is really not talked about enough. As you get higher and higher, your circle of who you can trust gets smaller and smaller. And you got to be very careful with who you celebrate with, because there are some people who just want to celebrate with you because you did well. And there are people who want to celebrate with you because they've seen what you did. Like my god sister Talitha, I'm so proud of her, abundantly proud of her. Not because that she, ran fast or anything, but she has had a hard season. She went from being an American record holder in the indoor season to having it taken away from her at NCAAs and having a rocky, NCs outdoor, and then making the team and then making the final, or proving at one point what she's done last year. I just always want to be able to speak life into her, because it's hard to step back and look at what you've done. But when you have somebody like a family or me to be able to come back and say, hey, take the load off and look at what you actually did. Those are the people you want to keep close to you.
Count us in the family, Noah. Thanks for sitting down with us.
No problem. But I do got to show you this song. Now,